Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Unfog with Dr. Atahar Parveen. Friends, we bring you the most requested and most important one-shot child development pedagogy class. Now this class is useful for TET and all teacher recruitment exams. Now we were getting so many requests that we thought of making a class with a dead easy explanation, because see, now we know that exam is ahead, so we don't want to create any confusion by telling all the stories. So that's why we are making this class with the focus on only point to point explanation and exam point of view only. Okay, so what theory, who said it, and one simple maybe classroom example I will tell you. If you are watching this class completely, then we can assure you that this is going to be the ultimate scoring class for CDP. So that's why let's begin this class with the one shot psychology. We can say it as a master class because everything is included here. So in this class we will be discussing the list of psychologists with their theories based on these important themes like learning and behaviorism, cognitive and constructivist theories, moral and psychosocial development, humanistic and personality development, intelligence and testing, and emotion and social behavior. So we will be discussing the list of all the psychologists which are very important for our exam, and we will be discussing what is the theme on which they were doing research and what was their actual concept. Let us give example for each also, and after discussing all the lists, in the end I'll be giving you 10 multiple choice questions which you have to solve by yourself. Okay, so let us start with the learning and behaviorism. So the first psychologist comes in our mind for this theme is Ivan Pavlov. Pavlov was the one who did lot of research on learning by association. It was his conclusion that psychologically fact is that the learner can learn by association. He gave the example of the dog also, right? But I am giving you a simple classroom example here that if the bell rings in after the last period, automatically, even if the teacher is not telling, also students start packing their bags, right? Because the ringing of the bell, the long bell, is related to the closing time of the school. Children now know that they have to go home, and that's why they are packing their bags. So here the bell ringing is associated automatically to the packing of the bags. B.F. Skinner, he told that reward and punishment controls behavior. He also told about how the language is learnt. He told that language is learnt by imitation and reinforcement. So first what he told was reward and punishment are controlling the behavior of the learner. For example, if the teacher gives a star mark in the notebook of the learner, then the learner gets motivated and the learner tries to write it more neatly next time. So this is the motivation that the learner or the student is improving in handwriting. Okay, so this is about the behavior. Talking about the language learning, the child starts imitating the mother or the elders in home and the teacher also. Okay, and of course the friends also. So language is learned by imitation and reinforcement, he told. Okay, then talking about another psychiatrist, E.L. Thorndike, he told that practice and reward strengthens learning. Like Skinner told reward and punishment controls behavior, according to Thorndike, practice and reward strengthens learning. Means if the child is learning cycling, then he will be master in it after practicing it many times, after doing many attempts of cycling. Okay, and also if it is a race or something like that, then also if the child is coming first and the child is getting some reward, then the child will be motivated and child will keep on practicing and trying to cycle in a better manner, and for sure the child cycling skills will improve. Okay, who was the next scientist? Albert Bandura. He is another famous one, right? He told that students or learners learn by watching others. Best example, student copies teacher's speaking style. In fact, students sometimes they also make fun by doing mimicry and all that also, but that is all later. I am talking about children here. So children try to copy the pronunciation, the style of the speaking, how the teacher is using the words. Like that only children will be pronouncing. Okay. Two more important psychiatrists are John Watson and Little Albert. They told that fear is learnt. I mean, fear can be learned. For example, child becomes scared of dogs after one bad experience. So sometimes children don't know which thing or which animal or which situation can cause harm. So if the child is walking on the road and if he sees that the dog is barking at someone or the dog is biting someone, then that child will know that I need to get scared of this dog. This dog can bite, it can harm me. So child becomes scared of dog after that one bad experience. Okay, so this is what they told, John Watson and Little Albert. They told that fear can be learned with the experience. Okay, so these are 5 important psychiatrists who told about learning and behaviorism. I told you about what were their concept along with examples. Okay, now let's go to next topic, cognitive and constructivist theories. When we talk about constructivism, first who comes in our mind? Jean Piaget, right? So he told that thinking can be developed stepwise. He also gave 4 stages of cognitive development: S, P, C, F. Sensory motor stage, pre-operational stage, concrete operational stage, and formal operational stage. Okay, so sensory motor stage means here sense is developed. Pre-operational stage means playing is developed. Concrete operational stage means concrete things are developed, and formal operational stage means future thinking is developed. Okay, so 7-year child can understand conservation using water glass activity. So this is how the child can develop the understanding or thinking. Next, psychologist Lev Vygotsky. So what comes in our mind when we talk about Lev Vygotsky? ZPD, right? Zone of proximal development. This we have been discussing many times in all our classes, right? So what was the concept of Vygotsky? He told that we can learn with help, interaction and scaffolding. For example, teacher guides a student in long division until they can do it independently. It is tough for children to learn long division by themselves, right? So they need the help of teacher continuously till they learn it. So if the teacher guides them, then they can learn it. So basically learning becomes easy with the help, interaction and scaffolding. This was the concept of Vygotsky. Then what about learning by discovering patterns? So this important concept was given by Jerome Bruner. Bruner told that learning can be done by discovering patterns. For example, a student is working on number sequence, some problem he is solving, or he is just writing the number sequence, and suddenly he finds out that there is some rule in that number sequence. So that can surely happen. Now teacher did not help, teacher did not tell what is the rule, but the student found himself or herself while writing the number sequence. So learning can be discovered by patterns. Another famous psychologist, Chomsky, Noam Chomsky. So he told that language is the ability which is inborn. This is in contrast to Skinner. Remember, he told that language can be learnt by imitation and reinforcement. But Chomsky said that language is the inborn ability. He told about this LAD, language acquisition device. So remember, language acquisition device was given by Chomsky, and this was based on the ability of the learner which is inborn itself. So child can learn mother tongue naturally without grammar teaching. It is the ability of a person he is telling. Okay. Now moving to next theory, moral and psychosocial development. So Kohlberg is the hero of this topic actually. So Lawrence Kohlberg, he told that right, wrong thinking, all this improves gradually. For example, a small child is obeying rules just to avoid the punishment of the teacher or the parents. But older student obeys for social approval. The older student knows what is right and what is wrong. Here, the thinking is improved gradually with age. Another psychologist, Carol Gilligan, told that boys and girls, they are having different moral thinking. For example, boys can focus on justice, but girls can focus on care-based decision. Let's understand with the situation. There is a wallet found on the road. So the boy will tell that let's return this lost wallet to police because that is right as per the law. But in the same situation, what a girl will do, the girl will try to find the owner and check if the owner needs any help. Because the girl is thinking that the owner may be worried because of this wallet. If I give it to police, it may take time, or it may also not reach to the correct person on time, right? So that's why the girl will try to search for the owner and check if the owner needs help. Okay. So this is the difference between the moral thinking which is gender based. This is what Carol Gilligan told. Okay. Then Erik Erikson. Identity develops through 8 stages. So these are the famous 8 stages which I am leaving on you. You have to learn them and understand them, because this is the class based on only the list of the psychologists and their theories. Okay. So what did Erikson say? He told that identity develops through 8 stages. Teenage confusion, for example, who am I? What should I become? All that confusion will be there. Like that only, there are 8 stages in our life. Okay. Next topic, humanistic and personality development. So when this topic comes in mind, Abraham Maslow should be first addressed. The basic needs first must be satisfied, he told. Then after that, self-actualization will be there. He put self-actualization in the last. For example, if the student is hungry, then the student should first eat the food. Food should be given to the student first, because the student cannot focus in the class until the hungerness is gone, or until the student is satisfied by having the food. Okay. So basic needs first, Maslow says. Okay. Then Carl Rogers, he told that unconditional support builds personality. So a student needs unconditional support in order to have a good personality. For example, if a teacher is praising the effort of the student even after failure, then the student will have unconditional support from the teacher, and the student will not lose hope. The students will try to be positive, to be successful next time. This is how the personality is built. Okay. This is the quality of a good teacher, I am telling you. There are some teachers whom I can say are not very good teachers. They usually don't praise children, especially after failure. They call out their names in the class. They scold them among the students. So this does not build their personality. This will lower down their personality. So a good teacher should always support the student no matter whether the student is successful or getting fail. That is a different matter. The duty of the teacher is to support the student. Okay, rest all things you can put aside. You can call the student separately and you can teach the student. You can tell the student to focus more. You can give little more attention on where the student is lagging behind. But you should never do it in the classroom. Okay, among students never you have to do. Okay. Next psychologist is Alfred Adler. He told that a learner is having a inferiority complex along with social motivation. For example, child who feels weak in sports, what does that child do? He will practice more and more in that particular sport to prove the ability. Right? Like that only he is applicable for studies also, for maths also, for science also. So if there is inferiority complex, means that child or the learner will try to improve it to prove the ability in social life. Okay. Hans Eysenck, he told that there is a trait theory of personality. Some are introverts, some are extroverts. For example, some children naturally enjoy group activities because they are extroverts. They try to mingle with others. But there are some children who prefer staying quiet alone. I mean, they don't like to mingle with other students much. So they are introverts. So this trait theory of personality is there. Some can be extroverts, some can be introverts. There is nothing harm in being both. Okay. Gordon Allport, he also told about personality. He told that personality has 3 levels of traits. Those 3 traits are cardinal trait, central trait and secondary trait. Example for a cardinal trait is like Mother Teresa was there. She was compassionate, right? So this cardinal trait, it defines the whole personality. Central trait, sometimes you can say as they are actually regular traits. It is usually there among everyone. So for example, honesty, friendliness, all that are coming under central traits. Secondary traits, these are those traits which appear only in some situations. One example can be that a person gets angry only in sports, but in other situations that person is fine. Right? So these are secondary traits. So these 3 levels of traits of personality are given by Gordon Allport. Okay. Next theme is intelligence and testing. Gardner, he is the main psychologist belonging to this topic actually. Howard Gardner. He has given multiple intelligence theory. One example is that student is weak in mathematics, but that particular student is only very good in music, or he is a good artist, or she is a good dancer. Okay, so intelligence can be in any field, not in only one particular field. So that is what multiple intelligence theory says. Then Robert Sternberg, he gave this triarchic intelligence, ACP. A means analytical, that is problem solving and academics based. C means creative, which is having new ideas or innovations. And P is practical, that is a real life problem handling situations. So these 3 types of intelligence are there. One example in classroom is that a student can solve science project creatively and practically both. I mean, there are 3 types of intelligence which can be used by students. Okay. Then Charles Spearman, he told about this G factor, general intelligence. So many students are there who can perform well in most of the subjects. They are versatile, they are all rounders. That type of intelligence is also there. Okay. Alfred Binet, he told the concept of first IQ test for slow learners. So the teacher can identify students who need remedial help with this test. David Wexler. He is the one who gave the famous WAIS, that is Adult Intelligence Test, WAIS. The full form is Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale. So career counseling and adult IQ assessment is done with this WAIS only. Okay. Next theme, emotion and social behavior. Psychologist named James Lange. He told that emotion happens after body response. Like for example, if your heart is beating very fast, then we feel scared, right? We get some fear if our heart beats very fast. Okay. Cannon Bard, emotion and body, they actually react simultaneously. So this is little bit more interesting than what James Lange told, right? So if you see a snake, you get scared also and your heartbeat also gets faster. So fear and heartbeat, they happen together. So this is little bit more relatively correct, I feel. Emotion and body, they react simultaneously. Schachter and Singer, they told that emotion is arousal plus label. For example, child feels excitement and labels it happiness after winning. Okay, first there is some excitement, then the child is giving the label to that excitement as happiness after winning. So emotion is a group of this excitement and the label given to that excitement. Okay. Martin Seligman, he told that there is something known as learned helplessness. Like for example, if the student is getting repeated failure, then the student will lose hope and will stop trying after so many repeated failures. That also happen, right? So if we get some answer wrong, doing it again and again and again, we get fed up and we think that we are not able to solve that problem. Or if you are writing your entrance exam, once you are not qualified, then you are scared. Second time you are not qualified, you are again scared. And there is one point of time where you feel that now I am not at all going to qualify, and that's why you don't even attempt the exam. That is known as learned helplessness, but that is not right. Okay, it's not good to happen. You should always be strong and you should never stop yourself after failures also. You should keep going. That is life. Okay, and for sure you will get success one time. Then Harry Harlow, he told that attachment is based on love, not food. So baby prefers comfort and security over objects. If the baby is with the mother, even if the baby is hungry, the baby will stop crying. So there is some comfort with the mother, right? So attachment is based on love, not food. Of course, it is based on food also later on. Okay, but here we are talking about the child psychology, right? Okay friends, this was the list of the psychologists and their theories, and I tried to give you examples also. So what type of questions will be asked in your exam? See, typical multiple choice questions from previous papers are asked on these topics which we have discussed in this class, like Piaget's cognitive development and SPCF, Skinner's operant conditioning, Gardner's multiple intelligence, Bandura's observational learning, Kohlberg's moral development, Maslow's basic needs first, Chomsky's LAD, Pavlov's classical conditioning, and Thorndike's law of effect. So this thing is a very good list for you. So you can go through this list and you can also learn these topics for your exam. Okay. Now based on what we have discussed, I am giving you this 10 multiple choice questions. This is your assignment. Okay. You can take the screenshot of this, or you can pause the video and answer each question from here and write your answers in the comment section. Okay, so let us see how many of you will give the correct answers, and also let us know how you like this class. Now we have made this class because we were getting so many requests from aspirants. So we really hope that who all were waiting for this class will be happy now, and we really hope good for you all. So all the best to you all. Keep your preparations rigorously going on, and we really hope that you all succeed this time. And for sure, if you have watched our classes now, all free classes, then for sure we assure you that you will be qualifying this time. Okay, and if you are a paid class aspirant, so there is double guarantee. If you have watched paid classes and free classes, then I am giving you double guarantee that you will qualify this time. Only thing is that you should have positive thinking. Don't lose hope, don't have negative thinking. Believe me, you are going to succeed this time. Okay, thank you. All the best. Bye.